What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the TuVues podcast. And I'm Dr. Davis here with y'all, man. Excited. Just got back from my trip from New York, man. New York is a great place to visit, man. Just excited that we can just come in front of y'all again and do another podcast to enrich y'all lives and help us grow as people.
Yes, sir. What up? It's Kev G in the building. You know how it is, man. TuVues in the building. Doing our thing, man. Keith went to the Big Apple looking like the Big Apple. So he back. We finna do this thing and rock you all out. Bro. I mean, so man, today we're gonna do this podcast is we always say it's a special one, man, but this one really is, man, because we got our boy Al Jeezy on the podcast today where he gonna talk about his experiences growing up and actually getting tied up into some stuff and how he elevated since that time, man. So it's an important one. Check it out, share it. But yeah, man, Al Jeezy, introduce yourself.
Yes, sir. My name is Al, man. Al Jeezy, like they want to call me. They gave me that name actually. Um, Owner of Valvada Entertainment. Valvada, that's my motto. That's my brand that I'm pushing. Um, and that's about it, man. I'm here. I'm ready to rock and roll with my boys.
Welcome, brother. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, sir.
So, man, y'all know how we jump this off, man. Keith hit it up.
It is time for KLG's top five.
I told you not to do that, bro. I told you not to do that.
I ain't do it last time. I had to do it. I had to do it, man. I didn't do it last time. All right.
So here we go. This top five, man, for all y'all that played sports and did y'all thing back in the day. We always had something to listen to before the game. I had a pregame list and a like a pre-game list, a pregame list that I went through, man. So today's top five is going to be the top five pregame songs before a game, before your game, football, basketball, whatever. Your top five pregame songs. Who gonna start first, man? Who gonna jump it off?
Hey, before we jump it off, I got a question about this top five, man. Because now that you say it, I probably went about it the wrong way. Is it your top five or is it the top five? Because I did my top five.
Wait, bro, my top five is the top five. What kind of question is that?
Nah, bro? But that ain't it for me though. This is what got me ready for the game. That's what I got.
Yeah, what got you ready? What was those five songs that prepped you? Like, why?
Come on, yo, baby pop looking at. Come on, man.
You built like a DJ. No, man, but I'm trying to understand what you're saying. Like you said, the top five. You mean like?
Right, my list will be different if I say what do I believe are the top five ultimate get hype songs for a game versus what got me hype.
Well, mine wouldn't be different. So, mine would be different.
All right.
So you jump it off then. Let's go. Your top five.
All right, let me go. I'm gonna start with my honorable mention, man. My honorable mention, man, because you gotta remember what time we grew up in. It was that Mystical and Silk the Shock. It ain't my fault. And that's honorable mention, man. Don't make that face. That's honorable mention. Now let me get it to my list.
Hold on. Let me just say this. Any song with Silk the Shocker does not make a list. You may continue.
Hey, it's my meat and potatoes come from man. Okay. All right, my five though. I'm gonna have to go with Party Up DMX. Because most of my playlists in high school and college was DMX. So
DMX
you're gonna
heavy,
you're gonna see DMX heavy. I'm gonna say my number 4 is JT Money. Who that? It's probably gonna be my who that. Yep, that's gonna be my number 4. My number 3 is gonna be one that got you calmed down and got you focused. It's gonna be DMX Slipping. That's my number 3. Slipping gonna be my number 3. Of course, my number 2 and number 1 can be interchangeable, but I put them in the order that I listen to them to get prepared for a game. So I did them in this order. I listened to the DMX Rough Riders Anthem. That's my number 2. And then my number 1 forever and always going to be Papa Roach Last Resort. That's always going to be my number 1. Papa Roach Last Resort always going to be my number 1.
Forgot about that
Papa
Roach, man.
So I'm going to go my number 5, Party Up. 4, Who Dat by JT Money. DMX Slippin'. 3, DMX Rough Riders Anthem. I don't care which version, remix or regular. And then my number 1 is Papa Roach Last Resort.
Last Resort. That's a good one.
I forgot about that one. You go next, Al Jeezy. I'm gonna let you go next.
Okay, well, my number 5 is Mystical Danger. Uh, that was a banger, real banger. I'm with y'all on the era of the No Limit Cash Money era.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my number 5. My number 4 is going to be Rick Ross Hustling. That was a banger when it came out. Number 3, probably one of my all-time favorite songs, Young Jeezy, Gangster Music. That shit would give me hype. That's a hype song. Um, C Murder will be number 2, Hootie Hoo. That's one of my bangers, like the No Limit era. And my number 1 song, all-time favorite song, will probably be T.I. Motivation. I listen to that
Oh
song
yeah.
all the time. To this day, it still get me motivated. So that's probably my number 1 favorite.
Okay.
Cool.
That's solid.
Cool. I already know what Kevin gonna have on us. He finna have some can't be touched, can't be stopped.
Man,
No,
don't
so
ask me to
Nelly,
tell my
so
list,
Nelly.
man. Hey, let me go.
Nelly too. You
Hey,
gonna have
man,
Nelly too? What?
I got
Go
three.
ahead.
I got three honorable mentions. How about this? I
Okay,
know
go
we said
ahead.
we're gonna get 2, but I'm doing 3. All right, my first honorable mention is gonna be the DMX Prayer on the Hell is Dark and Hell is Hot album. It's prayer off the album. Gotta listen to that before a game. That's my
Yeah,
song. That's my thing.
prayer dope.
And then we're gonna go Rough Riders Anthem as honorable mention. Yeah, Keith, as an honorable mention. The anthem's an honorable mention. And I'm gonna show you why. And then my
Man,
last
you
honorable mention.
tripping, bro?
My
Okay,
last
all right,
honorable
go ahead.
mention is Me Against the World Tupac. Me
Hey,
Against the
I'm
World
taking away
Tupac.
your Emmanuel Rams card,
Hey,
bro. It's gone,
it's
bro.
on the
Go ahead,
list.
man. Do
This is
your
on
list,
honorable
man.
mention. All right, so my number 5, you right, Can't Be Touched. Roy Jones and crew. That's
I
just
knew
gonna be
it.
number 5. Hey, I need y'all
Johnny
not to
Head
call
banger.
out my
I
top
mean what I
5,
say.
bro.
Do what I speak, what I
Man,
say. Just so
Can't Be
like
Touched,
trying to
man.
get in my way. Hey, it is one like in
But
college because that came out when we was in college. So that was one that you had on your
bro,
list. I got to give it to you.
and
Five
then I
go
was
kill.
coming off the edge so hot and couldn't nobody touch me off the edge. I was like, I can't be touched.
I
I
mean
couldn't
what
be touched off the
I
edge, bro.
do as I
But
say.
then I'm gonna
Hustle like
go.
grind.
Now my number 4 is gonna be slipping. Slipping, man. We from the hood, right? And so what DMX saying, slipping, and how the vibe of
Mm-hmm.
slipping, it just put you back in that, man. Like the struggle was hard, man, but I'm here. I grinded out, and I'm here. That slipping just set you up in that good motivation
My
spirit.
mindset.
And then
Yep.
my number 3, Nuck If You Buck.
Nelly.
Nuck If You Buck. Nuck If You Buck. Nuck If You Buck.
Oh,
Lil
you
No,
John.
okay?
no, 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 no,
I
no.
mean, in the club, yeah, before a football game. Okay, all
No,
right,
football.
all right,
Nuck If
all
You
right,
Buck. Man, I was a
all right.
defensive player. Nuck If You Buck. You know what I mean? And then
We
we gonna
all
go
was
with.
defensive players.
That's why I feel like y'all should have this on y'all list. And y'all right. I'm gonna have Nelly on this list. Heart of a Champion. Gotta
Heart of a
hear Heart of a
Champion, dope.
Champion.
That's honorable
Heart of
mention
a
for me, but
Champion,
that's
bro.
got to be on there.
Heart of a Champion. And then my last one, y'all got me tripping that this ain't on y'all list. I just don't get it. Where the hood at?
That's honorable mention for me.
Yeah, that's
That DMX, that
definitely
DMX,
that
where the
one.
hood at? Hey, go listen to
You
that
got where
song
the
today,
hood. You
man.
got
That
where the
song
hood at
empty,
over.
bro.
You got the
The
where the
anthem,
hood
yes.
at over the anthem.
Over the anthem,
Man,
yes.
you're
Yes,
slipping. You're
over the
falling.
anthem,
You
bro.
can't get up.
Over the anthem, bro. So that's my top 5, man. I got
All right,
Can't Be
man.
Touched,
Kevin
Slipping,
always
Nucky
having booty
Buck,
lists,
Heart of
man.
the Champions, and Where the Hood at. You can't tell me a number where the hood ain't on
Where the
number
Man,
hood,
1.
where the hood,
No,
where the
bro.
hood at?
Bro,
It's an
I can't
honorable
Rough
sleep
mention,
to this
man.
Riders.
day. What you
Yeah.
say?
I said that's that era. Rough Riders, No Limit.
Bro,
No
Yep,
Cash
I
Money though. No
yep.
Cash Money. What's up with that? We ain't got no Cash Money. All the bangers they had.
But my
man,
thing
they
is,
had Block is High. They had
they had the stuff that you would ride in a car to and hang out with your boy. When
yeah,
I'm talking about getting ready for a game,
Damn, yeah.
I can't think of
yeah.
a Crash Money when I had on my list.
Yeah,
You probably can.
true.
I probably think of some Wayne, some just straight Wayne that I could put on there, or maybe some what's
Wah,
the
wah,
one
wah, wah, wah.
the one in jail
See, man,
BG. So Wayne or
BG.
BG,
Yeah.
yeah. But the rest of them, it ain't too much I'll put on there. But yeah, man, that's the top 5, man. That's our list. It's our list. If you got your own list, man, like we told y'all, put it in the comments, man. Let's see what y'all list at. Pre-game music. What did you play? Your top 5. Simple.
You know what? You know
All
what we
right.
didn't have, but I guarantee other people gonna have on their list though. We ready. That's gonna be on most
That's a
people's list.
good one.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be on most. That's gonna be on most football players' list. Most football players. I just can't put it above any of my. It's honorable mention for me. I can't put it above any of my DMX, man. But that's the era we grew up in. That We Ready came out when we like what our freshman year in college. So we high school we was heavy DMX. So
trying to think, man. I might knock something out my list for the We Ready though.
Yeah, that was one I'm thinking about. That's a stretcher. That's one of the ones when you're stretching free game. You just play that. Yeah. Everybody listen to it together.
I can't believe Kevin had Papa. I can't believe you had Papa Roach either, man. I'll tell you, I had to play that before I got on the field. I had to play Papa Roach. That was the last song I listened to.
I didn't even think about it, man. I forgot all about Last Resort.
Yeah,
cool, man. All right, so that was the top 5, man. We're gonna go to our next segment. Oh, this segment right here, boy.
Let's go.
Dr. Davis's dad jokes, man. Dr. Davis's dad jokes, man. What do you got for us today, bro? You got to make me and Al laugh, bro. You got this.
Okay,
I need a laugh.
Okay. So I went fishing though, right, bro? I went fishing, right? And I saw a fish with no eyes. Guess what they called it?
Hey, we not doing no more.
I ain't got more for you, bro. I got more for you, bro. And check it out.
Hey,
okay.
We gonna scrap.
Hold on, man. Ain't got no eye in it, right? All right, Joe. So I got this toolbox, man, and my tools was one of my tools, man, was fighting and being like they had to throw it out the toolbox. You know what tool it was? The ratchet.
Another terrible, bro.
All right. Hey, Kev, man.
It's the last one, bro.
I've been noticing something, man. It's a lot of homeless people with dogs, man.
Oh man.
I guess they've been betting on the wrong roof.
Hey. Wow. Hey, that's it. Scratch. Yeah, Scratch it, man. Scratch it. That was it.
Hey, we done, man. We done.
Icing on the cake, though.
You got
the wrong roof, huh?
yeah, bro. Yeah.
Lassie.
Come on, man.
Hey, man. Hey, you can end the segment if you, man. Give me another segment then. You the one that came up with the segment?
No, we keeping Dr. Davis' dad joke, man. We just ending it right now. We're ending it now, man.
Hey, Kevin, a fish with no eyes, bro.
And you gonna keep going, huh? You just gonna keep doing it, huh? You just gonna keep doing it, dumb joke, huh? Just gonna keep doing it. I see you.
Hey, hold on one moment. Hey, what's a pirate favorite letter, kid? What's a pirate favorite? Okay. So you say R. You would think it'd be R, but it's really the C.
I'm done, man.
Are these your original jokes? Are you?
No,
I'm researching them. I'm researching them, bro.
I'm like, okay.
I'm done, man. Hey, let's get to this topic, man. Let's get to this topic, man. All right,
I'm here
man.
all night.
Today, man, like we said, we got Al on here, man. He's gonna talk about his experiences, man. I'm gonna let him dive a little bit into it, but we're gonna get a little touchy here and talk about something that a lot of people that we know of. I and Keith personally haven't experienced it, right? But we know people around us that have got caught up into a certain life or into a certain style and had to pay certain consequences from it. Also got to see them rebound from it. It's a great thing to see, man. So we're going to sit here and talk to Al about his experiences and how he rebounded and what was like and what can he tell other people out there how to move forward with their lives in certain situations. So, I mean, I guess the first question is, Al, is like, man, I'm just gonna let you jump off and talk about like how you started, how everything came to be, and how you got to where you was at that point in time.
Well, we start off with coming from high school, going to college, Eureka, going down there, playing football, doing the right thing, on the right track, as far as I could tell. Um, Transferring from Eureka, end up going to Concordia, end up coming closer back home, um, which probably was a bad idea, but it happened. Um, and then I ended up moving to Peoria for a little while. I was going to go back to Eureka and finish my degree, but and then I ended up getting in trouble. Ended up getting incarcerated. But what led up to that? I'm gonna say something real important that led up to all of this is not having being a young man and not being aware of your emotions and not being having a strong friends around you. You know what I'm saying? Like as young, we got big egos. Um, we moving fast. We don't think that we can make a mistake that could be detrimental to the capacity that I made. Like I was never a bad kid. You feel what I'm saying? I came from a two-parent household. I came up raised in Inglewood, Chicago. Pretty rough community, but it still wasn't an excuse to dive off into what I dived off in. How I made a mistake of how I made. I never put the excuses on anybody else. I'm full responsible for my actions. It ain't got nothing to do with my mom. It ain't got nothing to do with my dad. It ain't got nothing to do with my granny, cousins, nobody. It's Al. I'm fully responsible for the decisions that I made. But sometimes, man, when we don't have what I can say, like strong friends around, maybe not saying they're not around, but including them in your everyday life, like we do. Like we talk, communicate, we vent. At that particular time period, it wasn't none of that for me. I wasn't doing none of that. I was holding everything in. Whatever I went through, I was just keeping it to myself. And that's the wrong path to take. I would encourage all young men, man, if you're going through something and you got something that's weighing on you, talk about it. Because I never talked about problems. I was just one of those guys that just kept my mouth closed. And all it did was just build up emotional baggage and anger. That's all it
And
did.
so yeah, so a question I ask you on this, and I'll just throw out there is, would you think that's a product of our environment? So, for instance, like
Hmm.
I was the same way too, right? We didn't communicate. We talked about this before on our podcast, where we didn't really tell each other, our siblings, we loved each other until later on in life. But isn't that our part of where we came from, right? Where we were told to keep that in, and even as men, like we're supposed to have this certain toughness and demeanor that we we didn't talk about stuff. And I, like you said, I think it's important that we do. We do it now, and in our group. So, do you think it's like that environment thing?
Absolutely, definitely the environment, man. To the fact that you can have people that you grew up with in the neighborhood that can know certain things, but they don't know when you hurt. They don't know when something going on that you need to talk to your brother about because or your friend in the hood because you may feel embarrassed. Not knowing that every household is going through probably the same stuff you going through, if not
Hmm.
similar, it might be even worse. But for some reason, we never opened ourselves up to 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 vent situations because we feel like we can take it on our own, and it's a sign of weakness. I don't know where that came up about it. I don't know where that started at. But we definitely got to break that as men, which we are doing. You know what I'm saying? We should. I think young men should be able to express whatever it is they're going through without the backlash of feeling like they weak or feminine, whatever you want to call it. That stuff is trash. All that's going to do is build up trauma, build up angry individual at some point in time because it's going to come out one way or another. It's going to eventually come out. And by me stop playing football, that's why I was getting a lot of my anger and a lot of things out. So when I stopped that, I had nowhere to take it to. I had nowhere to take. I couldn't. It wasn't going to the field no more. So it was just I was acting out in other ways. Man, I can sit up here and talk about times I had thoughts, suicidal thoughts. You know what I'm saying? I've been through that. I've been through that as a young black man growing up. I've been through all that. Not only for myself, but just seeing your family struggle. Seeing your seeing or not having what you think you should have as a young, teenage or young kid. So it's it's a lot of stuff, man, that tied into the psyche of a young black kid. However, still not an excuse to go out there and do stupid stuff. So I mean, we just got to talk about it. We got to start early with the therapy and the talks. That stuff got to start at a young age, or the cycle gonna just repeat itself.
So I'm glad you brought that up because it kind of lead me to something I kind of want to ask before you get full into your story. Do you because when I look at my story and things I went through and my mental health things like that, I do also, and as an educator now, I start to see that there is a lack of resources for for kids to deal with their mental health and those thoughts and have people to talk to in those areas, especially for African American young men, because there's this is facade that we have to be tough, we have to maintain this certain persona, and I think that I always think when I look at my young boys that the resources aren't there, the outlets aren't there to allow those students and those kids to share on a cultural aspect because we come from different cultures and the way we share, the way we express it can be completely different in some cultures. So, do you think in your time growing up, was there a lack of resources to address the mental health and stability of kids in your community?
I think it was, but at the same time, bro, it was people to talk to. It was people there that I could have talked to. So it
Mm-hmm.
goes down to why did I feel like I couldn't?
Yeah.
Like that's the problem. Why, as a little boy or teenager, why did I feel like I couldn't go to this individual to talk, and they hadn't even gave me a reason to feel like I couldn't?
Mm-hmm.
It's just embedded in us to keep our mouth closed. Like the whole stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know where it come from,
Yeah.
but people. It was people there. It was people that I could have sat down and talked to. I just, for some reason, didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it like before I jump to my next question for you, and like on this podcast, people know we always go back to history, but we all know it started in slavery, right?
Mm-hmm.
The voice of the black male was silenced,
Mm-hmm.
and we had to deal with that as people. And now I think as we get older and we it just stuck with us throughout time, and we just never figured out how to get it back on track. But what I want you to do for me, Al, is take me to that moment, right? That moment um where you got tied up, the moment where everything went left, right? Where everything was like the tables turned from you. You went from this college kid trying to do your best to getting tied up in something that got you incarcerated.
Man, getting away from family and faith, man. Getting away from that. That the first two things that steered me in the wrong direction because once I started stiff arming my family, forgot about God. That's the biggest thing. I forgot about God. I stopped praying at night. I used to pray the Lord's Prayer every night. Once I stopped doing that, it allowed just all types of other just crazy stuff to seep in, man. And I started hanging around the wrong people. I started hanging around the wrong people, whether it's relationships, um, even where it was some friends that well they don't wasn't friends but people. I started hanging around the wrong. I got away from everything that I was doing at Eureka. I got away from all of that, and I made a decision, man. A 24-hour split decision, man, that cost me 6 years and 9 months of my life. I made a decision that was just outrageous. It was just crazy. So as I go back and think about that, it was definitely a crazy decision, but it was emotional turmoil. It was me actually crying out for other help in other
Mm-hmm.
areas. That wasn't the issue. What I did wasn't the really issue. It was other things that I was battling as a young man. I'm a young man going into from a 20-year-old, 21-year-old, and I'm moving up the ranks, but I'm confused in a way. You know what I'm saying? I'm confused, and it's just and I just didn't have, well, not didn't have, but I didn't talk to anybody about manhood. I think young men, when we coming into that manhood, we should have somebody that we can sit down and talk to. Like, man, this is what's happening. I'm dealing with relationships right now. I'm dating women. I'm going through this. I'm going through that. this is what's happening. Because we don't, sometimes we just don't, we can't handle, I'm not saying we can't handle it, but we just don't know how to receive all the emotions that's coming in at one time. We just don't know how. And I just got away from everything, man. Drinking a lot, excessive drinking, that played a part in it. Um, just bad decision making, Keith and Phil. Just bad decision making. And I knew right from wrong. Once again, I always say this: my decision was not based on how I was raised or my mom and dad. They raised me well. I come from. They did everything they could to put the red carpet out for me to have a successful transition from high school, childhood to high school to college. They did everything in their power to make sure I was good. It's me.
It,
It
it,
fall back on me.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, man, because I think, and I think Keith, you might have a question, but I'm gonna just say this real quick: is that you mentioned like you had a mom and a dad, right?
Yeah,
And a lot of people, when people hear stories like this, they be like, they expect for the black father to not have been there, but you had your pops, right? And some still didn't click in you, where you still felt on the wrong side of the path. And I think that's big for people to know, right? That it's not just people who don't have their fathers that go through certain stuff. Men in general, boys in general, still go through something in their mind and their brains that they have to learn to deal with, no matter who you got around you. It's just being able to communicate and talk to people is important, but you have to do that. You have to communicate and talk to people in order to release some of that stuff off you. So don't think
yeah,
everybody who do bad in this world is fatherless, right?
yeah,
Don't think that way.
yeah. I'm gonna piggyback on that a little bit. I ain't gonna dive too much into my parents because I don't want to. That's but I'm gonna say this. Um, Definitely had both parents in the household, but my father old school. He was raised in the old school, traditional Southern father, meaning that he pay bills, he take care of business, he show no emotions. He old school, and that's how he was. So he was present, but not connected. Feel what I'm saying? Like you can
Hmm.
like I always use the example. You can have a fan in 90 degrees, but if you ain't plugging it up, it's not effective. It could be sitting there, but if it ain't plugged up, what is it doing? So I'll use that to try to like compare my pops. Definitely a loving dad. Made sure I ate. Made sure the bills was paid, but no communication. No hugs. No talks. No nothing. It was just hardcore. Man, you ate. You fed. That's it. So we got to get away from that
Hmm.
as black men. We got to be in communication with our kids verbally. Yeah, you can pay the bills, you can take care of that thing. That's what you're supposed to do as a provider. But you also got to be in communication with your kids so they can feel comfortable coming to you with certain issues
Hmm.
when things is going wrong, when things are going on. And not saying I couldn't talk to my dad, but my dad was, like I say, hardcore. Like I probably was more scared of my daddy
Hmm.
than I was to be able to go, sit down and say, "Pops, I want to talk to you. I got something going on, something happening right now." Not saying I couldn't have, but just it was just built up to just you just keep it to yourself.
Yeah, it wasn't a door, like that door wasn't open. Like, and we talk about, I think I want to say, Kevin, podcast 2 or 3, where we talk about daddy, how it's important for us to not only be that provider and that have, but we also got to be that nurturer too. And all right, we got to get away from that. We got to be that door where our kids can come through and talk to us about anything. I've sit with Cajun and say, "Hey, you sure everything on? You can talk to me about anything, right?" And letting them know that it's okay to come to me. That having that open door policy, like, come, I don't care what it is, come and talk to me. But what I want, you said something very key. I want you to go back and hit on a little bit, and it's about the relationships and the importance about having effective friendships and or relationships in your life that'll help you steer the way. Because I've seen y'all do some things for brothers in our group, just simply of like, hey man, you straight, how everything going? Are you having this financial trouble? Let us get together and hook you up. Like that's the kind of vibe we got in our group. And we have our fallouts, we have our brotherly fights, we have that, but at the end of the day, we're gonna make sure each other's straight. And so I
Mhm.
want you to talk a little bit about how good friendships, or the lack thereof, or healthy relationships, um, didn't they kind of helped that foundation crumble even more, which kind of led you down that path that you took.
Man, bro, I can't express how important friendships and relationships are. They are truly important. The people you hang around are it tell you about yourself. It's gonna tell you how pretty much how you gonna come out. I mean, the most people you hang around. So, um, when you don't have solid friendships, man, you don't have nobody that you can go vent to. Like I'm a natural loner anyway. You know what I'm saying? I'm naturally don't want to be around nobody anyhow. I pick. I'm selective when it comes to the people that I hang around. I'm very selective. However, um, sometimes I have chose the wrong people to hang around and probably stayed around too long. In certain situations. If you're like you guys can tell me if I'm doing something wrong. Al, you're bogus. Like those are the type of friends you want around. People that's gonna not watch you destroy yourself. You know what I'm saying? People that's gonna tell you if you're doing something wrong or you shouldn't be doing this or you shouldn't be doing that, and vice versa. I didn't have that. I had enablers. I had people that were around me that at that particular time period that was they didn't care. They probably wanted to go out and have a drink. They didn't care. You know, they was just it was just fun. It was all fun. They didn't see the dark side out. Man, he hurting over there, man. Bro hurt.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They didn't see that part. Like, man, bro going through something. I'm like, bro, I ain't heard from him in 2, 3 weeks. Something ain't right. Like, you need them friends. It's like, whoa, he ain't been on. Like, he ain't been online. Like, he ain't been his normal self. If you used to seeing me online or used to seeing me doing this or you see me doing that, bro ain't been to work it out for 3 weeks. Something ain't right. Let me pick up and see what's going on. I'm the type of friends you want around. I didn't have that. I could have disappeared for 6 months on my living room floor with all types of thoughts in my head. Nobody would have, nobody would have known. So, man, it's important to have good friendships, man, and good relationships, man. Like I didn't have a good relationship with my brother, so I didn't. So that particular, I didn't have like a family relationship, like as far as a brother. I had a cousin. You guys know about my cousin that got killed by the police. I went to Northwestern. That was my my brother and the person that led me to go to college, the person that led me in the right direction, the person that would check on me to make sure, you know what I'm saying? He would do stuff like that to make sure I was good, go to Bears games with me, like do stuff with me on a bonding level. Now, somebody that I felt comfortable going to and just like, man, I'm going through this relationship. I didn't have that, man. I had lost that. So, man, it's just relationships, bro. Relationships and friendships are important, man. Important on all levels. And I didn't have that. And it led me to festering my own thoughts. So now things you want to ask other people, you answering those questions yourself. And most of the time when you're in a depression, your answer gonna be the wrong one. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're in a different state of mind. You are already in a low state of mind. So if something you want to go ask somebody else and you mentally thinking about this stuff, your answer is gonna be wrong.
Yeah.
I went through
Yeah. So
depression, all that, my bro.
yeah. And so I think this might tie into some of that, right? Is
Hmm.
I got two scenario or two things that happened to you where I want you to speak about as far
Hmm.
as they're interrelated. So when the judge was like handed down your sentence, boom, gavel hit, and when that jail cell closed, where was your mind at when those two things happened? Like when the judge said you doing this much time, and then you got into that jail cell and they closed it. Like where were you at mentally at that point? What did that do to you?
Mentally, man, when the judge, I can remember like it was yesterday, when the judge hit the gavel and said, "Man, I sentence you to 8 years in the Illinois Department of Corrections," I didn't think about myself at that moment. My mom and daddy was in the courtroom. I was thinking about them at the time because I knew physically, me, I can put myself through some stuff. I can go through this, but I was thinking about my mom and because they didn't, because this ain't the way they wanted to see me. They didn't see me walking
Mm-hmm.
across the stage. They see me getting locked up. So this was a whole. It happened like so quick. Like man, I went from a college um, student to finna get sentenced to the Illinois Department of Corrections. So when they did that, man, I looked around. I turned around. I looked at my mom and my daddy, and then the judge. She asked me, did I have anything to say? And I said, yeah, I want to talk. I turned around. I said this my crime that I committed is no way, in shape or form, resemblance of my mom and my daddy, and I thank my pops for his role he played in my life. I've just pretty much given everybody their thanks. Like, I thank you for doing this, doing that. Thank my mom for doing this and doing that. And I took my time, bro, and I remember walking past my mom and my dad. They couldn't even hug me or nothing. The guards was like, no touching. So I just walked right past them. I could just see the man, like how you just know somebody, you just let them down. Like,
Yeah.
that look like, man, you let us down. So at that particular time, back to your question, when that happened, bro, I wasn't even thinking about myself. I was thinking about my mom, my dad, and really my little sister, because she was just finna go to college, entering college at that time, and that was really on my mind at that time. Them. Um, Second
Yeah.
question, go,
Yeah. When that cell closed, when
man,
that door
it was
closed.
real then.
Yeah.
It's real. It's tightened up now. It's layers the boots up. I went back to a street mentality then. I had to, because it's survival mode. It ain't. I'm not going to class. You know what I'm saying? I had that opportunity already. I had the opportunity to be around the good guys. I had the opportunity to be around people that had sense, that was walking in the right direction, and I squandered it. So now I got to put my big boy pants on and get back to the other side of things. So I mean, at that particular time, it's man up. It's man,
Yeah.
got to. What else you gonna do?
So I want to share some. We talked about the A study in the previous one as well, but what I want people to understand who watches this is this: a lot of people think when you get incarcerated that that's rock bottom but for some people it's not. So for some people that's a compound form of trauma again, right? It's not seeing your mom and dad as you walked out the courtroom, hearing that jail door, the clink of that jail doors, like that's another traumatic moment in your life. um but during that time period, you had to start dealing with those traumas. So I know you'll get to that, but I just want to let people understand, like, that wasn't the getting arrested, the getting locked up wasn't the end of the trauma. That was just more trauma, right? The issues that were, and tell me if I'm wrong, but the issues that were buried inside of you still weren't dealt with, and this was just more dirt thrown on top of those issues, right?
Correct.
It was more issues. The jail wasn't the fix. Like some people, like when you get when a drug addict goes to jail and they have to get on the whatever that is, I think it's methadone, to have them get off the drugs. Oh, they're gonna be no. There's something up here that they have to deal with. Like there, it's the jail isn't the removal of trauma, it's the addition of trauma. Right? And so I want you to talk a little bit about that. Like, people think that it's over, that's the beginning of the process. The renewal process is when you go to jail, but that's just another form of trauma.
Yes, sir. I'm glad you said something about that. Absolutely, man. When you in there and them doors closed and you in there with yourself for 23 hours a day, all you had is your thoughts and what you done and what went wrong, and that's all you can do is fester in your thoughts. So either two things gonna happen: either you gonna realize that a healing need to occur, or you're gonna resort to what I seen guys do a lot. They come in prison, they come in there normal, they take pills. They go to Medline, they start taking stuff, they start saying they got this. They start taking all these pills. So you got guys taking certain pills for 6, 7, 8, 9 years, and it's just screwing them up. And they come out in way worse than they was. I didn't do that. I didn't take not one pill when I was incarcerated. I just let it hit me, man. I just let it hit me. I needed that. I needed a smacking. Like, I needed a way. I needed to learn. I needed a way out of this situation, because if I hadn't have went through that situation, I don't understand. I don't really think I would have been at the mindset that I am right now, as far as understanding how to heal, understanding I even have a problem. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, even understanding it's an issue going on, because I would have been keep going through life not even thinking I had a problem. But when I was in there, I realized it's something. It made me look at my whole childhood.
It made me look at everything from the beginning to the end and understanding that this ain't right.
Mm. So you talked about medication, and I'm thinking you're talking about like for mental issues like depression, anxiety, things like that. And I'm a proponent of it. But tell me if I'm wrong. But you talking about some of the medications, I'm betting what you're talking about is that it makes them numb. Right, they
Yeah,
start taking this medication to numb them and never dealing with. They don't get to go see the psychiatrist. They don't get to go learn how to heal. They're just getting medicine to numb the feeling, and that's the mistake.
they walking around like zombies. They take it, they
Mm-hmm.
escape the pain, and they walk around zombitized. Like, man,
Mm-hmm.
if you but they doing it because they don't want to go through the hurt. They don't want to
Yeah.
cry. They don't want to lay on that pillow like I did plenty of times, laid on that pillow and wipe my own tears. They don't want to. They don't want to do that. They don't want to go through that part of the healing. I did. I went through that. I took it. I took it like a man. It is what it is. I faced it, man, head on. I faced it head on to the point where I birthed, evolve, or die. But we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, yeah. We definitely gonna get into that. But 6.9, but 6 years 9 months is a long time, right? That's a long time. Like if you had a kid when you get out, they'd be almost 7. I mean, if they were just born, but
Yeah.
um, for 7 years,
Mhm.
let's talk about you let it hit you, right? You said you let it hit you while you're in there, and so that you could figure out how to grow from it. But what else besides letting it hit you got you through those six years 9 months? Like, was it a person? Was it reading? Was it um the church they had in there? Like, what allowed you to keep your mind so focused to where you when you got out you can be on that straight and narrow and keep moving? Because some people, they say that the jail has resources, right, and these resources available to everybody to to get themselves better. What advantages did you take of any of those resources during that period of time?
Okay. First question: what kept me going? Memories, man. Memories of where I was at before that. Like at a time period in my life when I was walking down a good path. Those memories kept me afloat. Like my college years. Luckily, I was able to do 3 good years, 3 great years. I met some great people, like you two brothers. I played sports. I had a great, outstanding time in my college years. That right there was one of the probably the most important things that got me afloat because I had something to go back and dig into. Like, man, bro, this ain't you. This part of the situation ain't you. And look how quick you can destroy everything in a blinking of an eye. So I went back to that. I went back to my family. Uh, um, yeah, pretty much that was it, man. My memories and books. I started reading a lot of books, man. Whether it's from T.D. Jakes, I read different spiritual books. I didn't just stick to Christianity based books, even though that's what I follow. I read books from everywhere that I can pull out keys that can help me through this particular time. T.D. Jakes was definitely one of the best books that I read. His books that I read when I was in there. Actually, one of his books helped me birth, evolve, or die. We're getting that side a little later too. But man, bro, reading, and I went back to school. I utilized the resources. It's some resources there, but it's up to you as an individual to go and do that. You gotta want change. You gotta want to change. Um, if you don't want change, you don't care what they got out there for you. You're not gonna go take advantage of it. So you gotta take it into your mindset that this is not the end. This ain't the end, man. This is not the end. And the Bible helped me. Reading the stories of how God delivered certain people in the Bible, I use those stories and put myself in it as the characters. I put myself as the characters. So if they can do that for these individuals, I know he could do it for me.
Yes,
Like
sir.
what makes I'm no different than them people. So it was just faith and me knowing that I know I can get through this. How Job got through what he went through.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of my favorite books.
Mine
Mine
too.
too.
So
Absolutely.
I just knew I was gonna be okay. Um, and like I say, man, God got His way of bringing you back. He got his way of bringing you back when you lose focus and lose sight on him. That's the ultimate reason. One of the reasons why we put here, man.
Absolutely.
Once you lose sight of him, everything started going downhill, and he brought me back. He brought me back into the fold.
Yeah. So we'll go here. 6 years, 9 months in.
Mm-hmm,
All
mm-hmm.
right, inmate, blah blah blah. Get your stuff together. It's time for you to go.
Oh man,
Um, let's talk about the. So I want to talk two things. How did that feel, right? And then, as an inmate being released,
mm-hmm.
there's two directions you can go: back to where you came from, or you can utilize the time the right way to go a different way. So obviously, we know what you did already, but talk about like that feeling when they said it's time to go, and then what you decided to do from that point on. Like, what was your mindset from that point on when you walked out those gates? What was your mindset?
Man, I had already built up in myself over the past years. I had already built up this my makeup of how I was gonna deal with life this time around and how I was gonna incorporate friends in my life. People that I can talk to about things like things that's going on. I can talk to them about it. So I had already. I wasn't gonna do what I did before. Like, friends, go back to your solid group of friends, the ones you know that you can talk to and that's gonna be there for you. That you can vent to. So I had already. I made my mind up on that area. Shape, working out. I was in the best shape of my life when I came home. I was in the best shape of my life on all areas. I looked like a fresh penny, my mama would say, when I came home. I was in fresh shape of my life. I was in the best mental state of my life. I had old friendships that people that I probably had a lot of love for had disappeared. I didn't. I mean, I was gone so long that I didn't even know people no more, and they probably didn't. They didn't not gonna know me anymore. So a lot of those relationships just went. They just fell to the wayside. So when I came home, it was just me, man, and it was the best feeling in the world because I knew that I knew the talk I had with God. I had God when I was locked up. I said, God, I said, I just want one thing from you when I get home. I didn't ask for money. I didn't ask for a big house. I didn't ask for anything. I said, I want one thing from you. I said, I want to be able to see both my parents alive. That's all I asked for. And he granted that. He granted me that, and he gave me that. And when I was able to come home, I utilized my resources that I had, which is my family resources. I linked back up with my bros, y'all, and Lee, um, and the rest is history, man. From a mental standpoint, I'll never go back to that place again that I was at prior. I would never let that happen again. So it was a good feeling, man, because I knew that I already knew I was equipped for. I knew that, like I say, Job being my favorite book, I knew that everything had got stripped for me. I knew it was going to be hard, though. I knew it was
Mm-hmm.
going to be hard trying to prove to society that I wasn't what my number said I was. Society only sees, especially in the world we living in, they only see if that's what your number is, they're going to associate you with that. So it's up to you to regain um, likeness of society. It was hard, man. The first few years was difficult as far as jobs, employment, doing this, doing that. It was very hard for me, but I knew that. I knew it was going to be like that because I had knew this from being in. I was like, man, it's not going to be an easy road coming out. You know, you're just not gonna get out and make $1 million. You're not gonna get out and just be this and do this and do that. It's gonna be a struggle period. So I was ready for it though,
Yeah.
Keith and Kev. I was ready for it. I had built my body back up. They say you put on the whole armor of God. I had built myself back up. I was ready for it again. I could have played football and probably would have went crazy on the field at this particular time period because of I was totally different.
Yeah.
Everything was different. I saw life different. I saw friends different. I saw relationships different. I saw me different. So
Got something key when we keep going.
No, I was gonna say I'm really just really a statement. And that's why I'm glad we doing this because I hope everybody who's watched this understand that Al didn't wake up and do what he did, right? That there were some internal battles, right? And it goes back to us keeping our humanity and our compassion for people who are going through things, or and not being judgmental, right? Because like it wasn't just wake up and say I'm gonna go do this and get thrown like get taken to jail like that. That wasn't his goal, right? There was some internal strife, some internal struggle that he had to deal with that led him down a path that he didn't necessarily want to go. And so I just want us to make sure that when I hope the story is showing us that we need not be judgmental, have some compassion for our fellow brother who, and we as we may not be knowing anything that person going through, right? Or anything that got that person to that area in their life. And we become such a judgmental society. So I hope this shed some light and people can really use this as a way to say, hey, that brother going through something. Let me see how I can support.
Yeah. And so what 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 I, what I want to jump to real quick is that so you hinted at this evolve or die, right? It was birthed from this time, right? From this you going through this situation. So let's talk about evolve or die. How you came up with it, like what created it and started, and the direction you're going with it, and what you want to do with it. Let's talk about your brand and what it means to you first and foremost. What it means to you, where it came from, and what you want to see happen with it.
okay, well, it was birth. I was reading T.D. Jakes' book. I was reading Instinct at the time. It's
Hmm.
20,
Good book.
2012. And I think T.D. Jakes was mentioned. He said, you can't put a plant in a dark room and expect it to grow. And when I read that sentence, I'm like, man, I'm sitting on my bunk. I got my headphones on. I'm listening to my jazz. And I'm reading. That's how I used to read. I used to listen to soft jazz and read. And it just dawned on me, evolve or die. I'm like, man, I wrote it down in my little book. It's like, evolve or die. I'm going to do something with that. And I just put it into my booklet. And then as I'm walking the yard and doing other little stuff, like evolve or die entertainment, evolve like everything was just evolve or die. And I was like, man, what can I do to get that out there? Like clothing, well, I can do a entertainment company because that was my first goal with with evolve or die. I was gonna do a entertainment. I was gonna do music. Um, it was gonna be a music company, and I was gonna help push artists and get them to whatever level they needed to be. Um, and when I came home, I didn't have the direction to start a LLC at the time. I didn't really know how to do all that stuff, the EINs and all that stuff. But I knew that I needed to do something to get on that path. So I started it, I put it together, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do party promoting first because it can line me up and help me to get some networking in place to meet certain people that can probably help me to transition to the music. That's why I want to go because they go hand in hand. So that was my goal with the party promoting thing, to network and meet people to help me eventually push a music label. Um, During the pandemic came around, I couldn't party promote or do any of that. So I came out with Evolve.EOD t-shirts and hats. I want to keep my name relevant, not my name, but the brand relevant at a particular time. I didn't want it to die out, so I said, you know what? Let me do T-shirts and hats to keep it fresh, keep it out there, keep the idea brewing. Because it's true that you're going to evolve it or you're going to die. And I go back to myself and the people in prison that I saw on the medication. They was dying. They was dying in there. They was dying slowly. Young men just messing themselves up, putting this stuff in their body. just zombies. They turn into, they can't even work out no more. They zombified. That's where you got the guys that come home that be mentally just out of there. You see them, you walking around the neighborhood, they gone. Um, they was dying. I was on another path. I was evolving. You know, I was evolving. I was going a different path. So that's what led me to um, evolve or die, and I've been getting good reception from it all the time. I always, you know, you guys was one of the first two people to rock my shirts, Lee, my mom and dad. So man, we gonna keep it going. Evolve or die. What I got coming up? I'm working on the book, man. I've been procrastinating with the book, um, but I'm working on the book. It's definitely gonna be a banger. I'm like 75% done with it. When we release it, I'm gonna release it under Evolve or Die Entertainment. I'm gonna try to self-publish it. Um, it's gonna be my intro to not only prison reform but public speaking. Um, I'm big on everything is about timing. I'm big on timing.
Mm-hmm.
Timing is very, very important. I'm not trying to keep up with everybody else. My time frame is different. You know, when it's that time for me to unleash that, it will be unleashed. But that's my plan. Um, with Evolve or Die book, um, and maybe continue to do events. But my book is first and foremost right now.
Mm, feel you. And man, one thing I hear when I hear you speak, man, and I need people to know and understand, is that in all of our lives, we have these multiple fork in the road moments. Some are bigger forks in the
Mm-hmm.
road than others. We have these fork in the road moments. If you have to make a decision, and the decision you're gonna make at that fork in the road can change the whole trajectory of your life. You like Al said, you can evolve and go the direction of greatness, or you can go down this path of destruction that you've been going down. It's almost biblical when you think about it, but you can decide which way you go in the fork in the road. You can evolve or you can die. And that fork in the road happen. It don't just happen once. You will have a number of forks in the road in your life. You just got to start making the right decisions. Right decisions breeds elevation. Making right decisions, and when you say right decisions, it doesn't mean the more favorable position or direction. It doesn't mean the route everybody else is going. It could be nobody else going that
Mm-hmm.
way.
Mm-hmm.
But
Right.
for you, that's where you need to go. You have to understand the fork and where it's leading you, and where the end point at is on that road, and make sure you're going the right way. So that's why Al creating this evolve or die is important. It's bigger than just the words, man. And what he's doing here is so deep about elevating life, right? And so I want people to really see that about this brand and about what you're trying to teach and tell people here.
Let me say something too
I got.
to the people that's watching. One of the big things that helped me with all this is being accountable. As we got to be accountable. We got to be accountable when things happen. We can't point the finger at this, that. Nobody. We got to self accountability. We got to say that it's me. I put it on my shoulders. God, how can you help me fix this? How can we fix this? How can I get this right? But you got to be accountable. If you don't be accountable, you're gonna walk
Mm-hmm.
down the same path. One thing I can say, I've been out over 7 years. I'm not a repeat offender. So that recidivism, I ain't going through none of that. So I beat the statistics on that part. I ain't went back. I ain't going back. I ain't thinking about going back. But you got to be accountable when something happens that shouldn't. That's key.
And I just want to say two quick things. First of all, anybody told you in a long time, I want to tell you today, I'm proud of you. I'm happy for the direction you've taken, and the message that you're trying to give out. I'm excited about the book. I'm excited about the public speaking because prison reform and the reentry is very important. I think our reentry systems in the United States are supremely ineffective, which causes the recidivism. I think having that message out there from somebody who lived it is going to be great. And I hope the people who are listening to that have been in the system are taking this, especially the evolve or die piece, and knowing that it's not over, right? a lot of people when you get out there's a lot of roadblocks. Even though Kevin talked about the forks, there are forks, and then there's roadblocks that our system has developed that makes it very difficult for people. Like the right to vote, the right to like finding jobs is difficult. You got to check that box on every application you put in, right? But the fact that there are opportunities for you to evolve, I think that's the key thing. Like there are opportunities for you to evolve, to get your message across, to make money, to build a family. So it's never over. I hope that's the message everybody's getting, that it's never over. It's only over when you want it to be over, right? So keep grinding like Al did. Keep make a decision, start planning, and we talk to Al all the time. Al always planning. You know, he's organizing and planning evolve or die events and things like that. So it's just simply, if you want to evolve, you have to you have to want it, and it's not over. It's not over because you got incarcerated. It's not over because you got a case. There are ways for you to evolve.
Absolutely.
For sure. Now now where can people reach you at, Al? Where can they get in contact with you? Like what's your social medias, man? What you got to people get in contact with you? Holler at you.
Okay, I got my IG is e.o.d_al. That's my IG. You guys can reach me on there. That's where I'm at most of the time. Um, Facebook is just my name, Al Thornton. You guys can reach me on either platform. Um, I'm open to, helping somebody that may want to talk. Somebody that maybe was in my situation that didn't have nobody to talk to. Man, come talk to me. I'm there. I don't care if I don't know you. If you got some situation that you're going through that is could be detrimental, um, talk to me, man. Talk to somebody, please.
Yes, sir. And if you're in the Chicago area, hey, man, if you got somewhere else you want to plan a party or something, you dig, man, hey, hit him up too. He'll set you up nice. He'll figure it out and set you up with something nice for some entertainment. I mean, a party or any promotional thing like that. So hit him up to talk or to make moves.
Absolutely.
I mean, he there for it.
There's success after incarceration, people. There's success. And if you need, I think Al, if you need to know some ways to do that, the way to start planning, the way to start processing it, I think hit up Al, man. He give you some direction on how he went about the process. It don't have to be in the area of entertainment. It could be in it if you want to go back to school, if you want to go a different direction. There's some steps you got to take, and I think Al be willing to give you that direction too. So it's not over. We as usual, we at TuVues, man. Always hit us up, email us, Facebook, whatever. We can help guide you too, because we're all about the uplifting of everybody, of the community, of society. So yeah, man, it's you gotta let's all evolve. Let's evolve together.
Yes, sir. And it's May 29, 2023. And Notre Dame won the lacrosse national championship. Holla at us.
God, man,
Lacrosse.
he got to take his wins wherever he can go, man. He got to take his wins wherever he can get them.
Lacrosse.
Wherever I can get them, man. Gotta get where I can get it, man. I'm saying. That's what it is. Cool. No, man, but that's us, man. Like I said, hit Al up, man, for whatever needs, talking, all that type of stuff, man. We appreciate having him on the show. This our brother. We love him. And if you can't get to contact him, maybe you don't really can't tap into those social medias. Like he said, he gave you our email address. Hit us up. We'll get you in contact with him. We talk to him every day, multiple times a day. You know what I mean? So we can get y'all in contact. We can make things happen, make things shake, man. But yeah, man, this was a good topic, man. This is a good thing to get out there and like I was saying before, like me and Keith never experienced. I've been in the county for some days, right? But I ain't never had no. I ain't did no years, know what I mean? But to hear people, we know people in our family that have done years and all that type of stuff, and to just get stories about how, because we see people in our life, in our family, evolve and like not go back down same path. Maybe they went to jail a couple of times and it took them like that few times to make that click and like get on the right path. But they like a lot of those people are on the right path, man, and your story can change lives, man. Like this story can change lives, like literally, like not just saying it, like it literally can change lives.
Yeah.
And we're gonna push this out there, man. We're gonna make sure that people can see it, all podcast platforms, YouTube, the video. It's gonna be out there, man. The story gonna be out there. Hope it moves some change, release some change. How about that? Release the change on some people.
Yes, sir.
So,
That's right.
any last words, fellas? Any last words?
Man,
You-
prison food is nasty too, man. That's another fact, man. Real nasty. So ain't bad.
Hey, when I was in the when I was in the county, I had tacos though. It was kind of fire.
They milk is
A little bit different though.
destroyed. They destroy.
I'm telling you, man.
Yeah.
You know, as usual, protect your peace, man. You know what I mean. As usual, Kev, protect your peace.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Man, like people. I hope people understand why we're saying protect your peace, man. Because you can't allow stuff around you to shake you, man. I just want to put that out there, man. Stop letting stuff around you shake you and getting you all irate and riled up. There ain't nothing but the enemy working, bro. Don't let the enemy win. Protect your peace, man. Enemy can't win. Yep. All right, man. That's TuVues, the podcast. Hit us up. LG, Dr. Davis, KLG. We up out of here.